Welcome to Humble Brags. We're in a little bit of a new setting today.
Fresh spot,
Trying
fresh
out
setup.
a new layout. This episode is sponsored by Clearo.io, who have sponsored the last two episodes. This is our final in the content series, and we're so excited to have joining us today KAS Homewares. We've got Dan and Karen. Welcome, guys.
Thank you very
Welcome.
much.
So, family business. We've got mother and son here, which is so lovely. We love having family on the show. Karen, if you can tell us a little bit about how the business started and the origin story.
Well, we actually started very young, just working at the markets and designing cushions basically. And then it just grew and grew. And then I met Steve, and that's KAS, Karen and Steve.
Oh,
So-
cute. Who came up with that?
I don't know, it was just,
Both of
it just
you.
happened on
Yeah.
the lounge room floor.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we were selling lots of cushions, and then we started selling to department stores, and it just grew and grew. And then, eventually we decided to do overseas exhibitions. We took a whole range there, and it was just a sellout. It was amazing. It just grew from there, and Steve said, I need my own studio. So we started a studio with designers, and then it just became something different to what is out there. We loved fashion. Let's put fashion in homeware. We don't look back now because
Yeah.
it's just so quirky. We just give the homewares a fashion look.
Feels like it's been a very natural evolution. So your origin story was just doing what you love and
Yeah.
it growing organically from there, which I think is a really beautiful thing. It wasn't forced. It's obviously been starting a passion project into a, multi-million dollar business, which is
Yeah,
an amazing
absolutely.
growth story.
It just went bigger and bigger, and now we sell overseas in Canada and actually Switzerland, UK, New
Yeah.
Zealand.
So how long has the business been in operation?
46 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
46 years?
That's incredible.
Very, very long time.
Yeah, look, we've got two talented boys who can take over, and Danny's good at the IT side, and Ben, he's very creative, so he can take over that side. So it's a good combo.
Yeah.
So the whole family is working within the business?
That's right, yeah.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
half of it right here. But yeah, we've been working together I have 13 years. It's been a very,
Fantastic.
very long journey together with mum and dad and my brother.
I guess growing up as part of a family business, seeing, I'm sure that it made up of many conversations at the dinner table. You 13 years ago deciding to join, what was that point where you went, this just makes sense?
Yeah, it was never in my journey entry. I was never thinking about it at first. I was actually in digital buying and media, traditional media buying at a media agency way back in 2011. So I've spotted a gap in e-commerce, and for KAS it wasn't really part of their business model. It was really wholesale focused. So I thought, what better way to venture into e-com and give them that brand visibility, and making sure that they're evolving with the times, and like I said, there was an opportunity there, and ever since I haven't looked back.
As you've evolved in different channels, your brand's also evolved, because you're known for your bold aesthetic and products that really stand out. Talk to us about that evolution story.
Well, I think Karen, from humble beginnings to now, she'll be able to tell you colour-wise.
Colour was so big about 20 years ago, and then it sort of died down a little bit into plains, and so it was a little bit hard for us. The KAS brand was sort of not as in demand, but now it's just come back firing. People want colour because it's happiness to the family home.
We were talking about this before around the influence of social media and trends, and that dopamine hit that a lot of people search for. I'm assuming that that's probably correlated with the rise of colour, so to
Trend.
speak.
Actually, the quirkier the design, the more popular it is. If you just do plain flowers or boring sort of nana flowers, don't work anymore. So you have to have that, the palm trees, the sun, anything quirky.
Which is your forte. I feel like
Yeah.
you were ahead of the time with all
yeah.
of this. So it's nice that it's coming back, because that's where KAS really shines, I think.
Yeah.
Are you still in charge of the creative direction of all the design?
My other son, he's much more, he's so creative, and he just knows where to put the colours together, and we've got a new team.
Obviously a family business has a very unique dynamic, and now you've come in and you want to make the business more digital, and how was that dynamic of, I guess, trying to convince your parents that this is
Right.
should be the next step of business?
Yeah, I think, look, it's an interesting dynamic because they're very traditional focused and being a wholesaler and bricks and mortar, of course. But I think you've got to have best of both worlds, and you want the customer to see you in that, as we call it, like the omni-channel approach, making sure everywhere, digitally as well as bricks and mortar, you're seen in the same message, the same tone. So, but people are just so engaged on their phones every single day, and if you're not there, like you said, on social or, you know, just through emails constantly and have a good website, like you're just going to be behind the game.
Yeah. On that topic, obviously 46 years in business, 13 years yourself in the business, you've seen a lot of shifts and a lot of trends. How have you navigated that, and how are you looking at what's next?
Well, look, I think it's just kind of market research and looking at how our competitors are also stacked in the industry, and you're starting to find, like, every day I'm always looking at ways that we can be unique and different alongside our pattern and beautiful designs. But I think for us it's really just making sure that our email marketing is showing number one, like, because that's where our true retention comes from, making sure our current subscribers are seeing new content all the time and seeing what new products we have to offer, and how our brand is always on point. That's number one. But then also transitioning it into social media, and we're making sure that our team are always engaged, being first to mind of what's happening across, you know, the whole industry in terms of homewares. But with Karen, look, it's always the budget challenge, and always coming forward, like, how much visibility are we going to get for the brand? And that's, you know, when you're competing constantly and you see how expensive digital marketing is becoming, you've got to find ways of how you can just get more of that data and that first party data, and getting, you know, more subscribers so that you can showcase, you know, your brand and what you're doing. So
this is probably a good segue to talk about Clearer.io, because ultimately their product suite has helped you in a lot of those aspects, from retention right through to conversion and finding new customers. Can you talk a little bit about how you've utilized the product for those exact things?
So it's only been a few short months with Clearer, but from what I've seen so far, look, it's been really, really streamlined, and really happy with the process. We've been able to consolidate our platforms dramatically from about 4 different platforms. That's from, like, SMS, loyalty, email, you know, and from a review perspective. So now we've got it on the one dashboard. We can really make sure that we, you know, looking at one particular analytics set, and we can always connect into all of our CRM, obviously the Shopify side of things, and then it just makes everything streamlined so that we're sending out that message as we go, and we can consolidate that data as well, because there's nothing worse than looking at, like, 4 or 5 different dashboards all the time, and then that attribution model changes. You're looking at all these different, you know, companies who are fighting for that, so they're always different wherever you look, but now having it in the one platform really helps. So yeah, it's really enjoyable so far, and also having my own CSM that I can count on, you know, whenever I need, and just we can always have those WIP meetings to make sure that the product data is correct, that our site reviews are going out correctly, that our product reviews are also going out correctly. So yeah, it's been a really pleasant journey so far. One other thing obviously is cost savings too. So
that always helps.
Very important.
Yes. So yeah, it's a really good thing for the business as well with our margins. So we want to always protect those margins, which is good. So
which products within Clearer are you sort of most excited to use and delve into?
I think really the influence side, which is just plainly because we've got a bricks and mortar store, and we really get to make sure that our customers are coming in and getting the message in both bricks and mortar and online. Also memberships, we're going to start trialing, like, memberships in store with a card, which is interesting too. So that's probably 2026 coming soon things. So really, really interested to see there. But yeah, it's been a really positive experience so far. So happy with the platform.
And just so that for people that probably don't know what Influence is, because Clearer.io has a lot of different product suites.
So Influence is their loyalty component. So what it does is it basically allows your customers to get points and rewards as they go. So it's a really good app connection to their full suite, and it allows customers to, you know, we offer only up to 500 points at once, but you can adapt and scale however you want, which is good. So
Yeah.
they do have the 3 components. So there's the boost, the search discovery, and then you've got the reviews, and then the loyalty side, which is influence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so-
omni-channel loyalty is so crucially important. And so having that platform that connects both into your point of sale or your in-store
Correct.
and has that as a unified view is really fundamental, I'm assuming.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can also make sure as well through social media, through our paid marketing ads, that we can also give a loyalty push as well, which is great. And we build our
Great.
segments through our email marketing platform as well, which then pulls those segments into obviously AdWords and Meta as well. So we can have the full database in the one. And as we mentioned about like consolidating data, making sure it's all clean and accurate is key. So that really helps us.
The dream.
It
Yeah.
is. It really is, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for my staff as well. We want to make it as easy and streamlined as possible.
Yeah. I think with homewares and, being that industry, it's really tricky to bring the brand personality out in content and marketing. If it's fashion, you can have people wearing it and you have the people's personality and things like that. I'm interested to understand how you go about bringing the brand personality to life through your content marketing strategies,
Yeah.
being such a difficult industry.
Yeah, I think for me and for the team, for Karen, I'm always pushing UGC. Like we're a homewares brand. Like we really, and it's not cheap too. So we want to make sure that the customer feels like they're at home and how they would deck out their own home. So having those lifestyle imagery, having the, the props there that you need, and also the influencers who are showcasing our product, how they style their bed at home or how they use a vase especially, is really important for content. The other thing is just that full funnel approach, just making sure we've got key imagery for each stage of the funnel. Like you don't want to be the same for your top of funnel and then your bottom of funnel. So for us, it's really capturing that key message first about why shop with us, who we are, and we've got almost 10,000 reviews now. So it's climbing.
Amazing.
So we want to make sure we're showing that message and why KAS has been around for so long and the good quality attribution. So that's stuff that we call out with all our creatives.
How do you use that data? So 10,000 reviews, that's awesome. How do you then utilize all of that data, and does it impact your inventory and how you think about new designs?
Yes, certainly. So we bring in those in terms of RFM model. So I'm always looking at which customers are going to be our highest lifetime value customers, and then which ones are sort of one-time purchases where we need a bit of work and we need to bump them up. So I think one of the things I introduced years ago was a bit of a tiered platform, which was not just like you got, your bronze, silver, gold type mentality. It was really like, hey, you're a decor lover, then you're a master designer, and then you become like a style specialist. So just giving it that nice play and that spin of how you can like go up the ranks and then get those key perks. But in terms of data entries, we make sure that I'm always looking at like those top tier whales and then looking at the lukewarm ones, and just always constantly looking at that customer hub and making sure we're using the GA4 data, using our Shopify data and segmenting correctly, so that also we're suppressing customers that aren't just a waste of time. So it's always keeping an eye on which customers you think are going to bring you, that conversion. Yeah. Because I'm sure it happens a lot in the space as well. People often get these one-time purchases and then they're like, well, how do we bring them back? Well, it starts with the retention side. So that's why it's so important in every strategy that I recommend.
What platforms do you look at the most for this information?
Klaviyo is a big one, and Shopify obviously, and then GA4, just making sure they're all in sync. And we also use a data connector which funnels through for all our UTM tagging and making sure that it's all connecting through GA4 correctly. The cross-sell channel, like everything changed obviously a while back now, but just that was the key, making sure that it was accurate from the get-go, and then I can relay the message to Karen and Steve, our owners, that making sure that our ROAS is good, that we're getting healthy returns, and that's what they're always looking for, to make sure that based on our budget versus actual, that we're keeping strong, and that we're not losing margin across the board anywhere. So it's really important. And these advertisers, obviously, the monopoly that they get to just, you got to be careful that they don't waste your money. Look, data is always key for me, and running competitions is a perfect way that easy quick win of finding ways to capture their email and their phone numbers, and that way then you bring them down the funnel. Yeah.
We get that often. A lot of our guests really know their numbers well. And so I think that is a really important takeaway for maybe new business owners. Like, understand where your customers are coming from, have the right platforms in place to really know that you can collect the right data, and then also have the analysis there.
And the levers you can pull for
Yeah,
the quick
correct.
wins. I love those. I use them all the time. Up my sleeve. Just
Yeah.
pull
That's
it out
right.
when you
That's
need
right.
it.
I mean,
Yeah.
look, new visitors, the old 10% off. I mean, everyone does it, but what can you be unique to then get them through the line? Like, it's all well and good giving them a 10% off your first order, but I've seen so many people like not utilizing their abandoned cart efficiently. Like, and I think to a certain point, yeah, you have to squeeze that margin a bit and offer a little bit more. But end of the day, it's a conversion, so you know that's what you want. But the biggest thing I always say is just, if you don't know your data, then you don't know your customer, really.
Yeah.
So
100%.
that's the thing for me, and I'm always spitting out this jargon for Karen and Steve. You know, but I stick to the basics, the traditional metrics that they need to see, really.
The fundamentals are the most important. Having a multi-dimension business as you've got as well just means you've got more channels to sell into and more places you can put your brand, which is good.
Yeah.
On that kind of note, what's next? What does the future hold for KAS? Are you thinking about new markets or new channels? What does that expansion look like for you?
I think we're looking at more different products.
Yeah, interesting.
So
Okay.
we're going more tabletop and
Yeah.
vases and plates and all that. And
More gifty.
gift lines, because we're seeing our customers love the gift idea rather like peddling. How often do you change a peddling?
Yeah, and that's something we found as well, just with our AOV, is average order, is like how, you know, it was a bit too small, and we were figuring out how we can, you know, upsell customers with, hey, well, actually, if you're doing up your home, look, we're offering amazing vases and in the same style too, because it complemented each other really well. And we all sat down, and Ben created his own brand, and it's almost like a side-by-side small subsidiary business to KAS now, where it sits along the soft furniture, so we're able to now market both brands and product in a way that they all are cohesive. So there's no different look, they're all the same look, but in just different product lines. So, and they're pretty well priced as well, which is what Karen just said, is like, how often are you going to buy a, you know, $250 quilt set, and you're not really changing that often, or, you know, so we had to find ways where, you know, that lifetime value could come up, and how to adapt. Also, like, the audience, like more Gen Z focused, and that's what the gifting is coming to now. So yeah, all of this new homewares tabletop range is definitely tailoring to the younger market, you know, so it alleviates that pressure off having the bed linen and all of that cushion homeware side.
We've gifted each other many a beautiful homeware set.
And you guys look, I mean, our demographic is female,
Yeah.
normally being female led, but
actually, we're trying to do a masculine range.
So
Ooh, I
you know,
like
watch
that.
this space.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I think rebranding ourselves is a coming soon. Yeah, early 26 project too, which is very exciting.
Yeah, cool.
New logo, new website, the style and our tone of voice, everything in one. Which we just want to make a good marketing material out of it, because I think customers love a good story, and you know, we've got so many good advocates of the brand being around for so long. I think that would create a big buzz and a change, and with the new product range we've got, I think it will work really well, especially with the new website colours we're going to be introducing.
Well, before we move on to the conversation card questions, for any of our listeners thinking, like, looking at KAS as an inspirational brand that's been in the market for such a long time, do you have any tips for people a bit newer in their journey of e-com?
Karen?
I think one has to update your look. KAS needs to inject a bit more colour, and that, like we were back 20 years ago. You can't sit still and think, oh, it's going to sell, but you really have to put your time and effort into changing the look and giving what the customer wants.
The biggest piece of advice is, number one, just consolidating your data and keeping on top of your data and your customers, but also like market research. Like, I'm constantly looking at what my competitors are doing, and if we're ahead, it means we're going to be, you know, like KAS will be ahead in the game, and I mean, that's the biggest thing, is like Karen said, you can't just sit still. You've got to be constantly unique and changing and evolving your brand, and product is where it starts, because, you know, if you don't have good product and, you know, good offering at a decent price point, you're going to struggle. But yeah, definitely market research for me and retention is just knowing your customers. Like, you know, I'm always looking at how the customers are reacting to new emails, making sure our open rates, you know, healthy, click-through rate, just looking at in terms of activity on the site and where people are looking on your site and why people are bouncing. It's just knowing all the time, maybe not every day, but, you know, at least keeping set aside once a month or a fortnight and just looking at that data, and we use Hotjar as one of our tools to make sure that you can see the heat maps of where, as you know, everyone is going on the site, and if you've got a lot of cold spots where you've got great imagery, we'll bump it up because it's not getting seen.
On the technology and tech stack side, because there are a lot of businesses that are probably in that either rethinking tech stack or going, I need to get started, what's the best place to start? Obviously, in vein of Clearer.io sponsoring this episode, I do think it's good for you to kind of explain the onboarding process, because from what we've heard from other customers that we've interviewed, it's super quick. The customer service is awesome because they take you through it. Have you had a similar experience?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was just, you know, obviously we're in a good timing with Clearer, because I was, you know, looking at new options for loyalty and reviews. Search was probably next. You know, Shopify does have a native search, but we just wanted a bit more of a complex app to be able to use AI better for our search. But just in terms of onboarding, like super streamlined, just making sure that you're on the right plan that suits your business, number one, and what you actually need. Like, is it priority going to be reviews or is it going to be loyalty? But in this day and age, I think reviews and loyalty go hand in hand, and you can really remarket it well. But yeah, like in terms of tech stack as well, like it all depends on your ERP and CRM system. I mean, depending on price point, there's loads of different ones, but yeah, we use Sin7. So, you know, for us, I'm able to tap our products straight into Shopify, and then that just feeds into all of our other retention through Clearer.io. So I made sure that the app that I was choosing in company was going to work hand in hand with our, you know, our ERP system and warehouse management system, because then I know which products go straight in and feed well and are selling well, and based on, you know, if I'm A/B testing or if I'm looking at a product that's got high reviews, we know straight away to in Sin7 that, hey, we've got to reorder it because we know it works really well. That kind of stuff. So just ensuring that they're all up to date and can work hand in hand in terms of the back end, that they can talk together.
So important, and I think it's overlooked actually.
100%.
When you think of just a new platform, you're just sort of plugging something extra in, but really thinking about how it works with your current tech stack.
That's right.
And getting on the phone with, you know, maybe you hadn't spoken to Sin7 for a while, but then talking to them about the new tech that you're going to add in to make sure everything's going to work is super important.
For sure. What's working, also what you're paying for too. Because if you're not seeing a good return on investment, then it's probably not worth it. For us, we found that good happy point where we wanted to move to, and Clearer was a great fit in the market. Really happy with it.
Love it. Conversation cards.
Yeah,
it is.
Now we've pre-selected.
Yes. You guys have pre-selected. So if you could read out your question and then answer it.
So it says, looking forward, I need my glasses, looking forward, what kind of legacy do you hope your brand leaves, not just in business, but in the lives it touches? I guess the legacy comes down to all the work we put in to bring out a design, and people love it, love the colour, and sort of want to be remembered for KAS was full of colour, which we get that every day, don't we? We're known for the brand with colour.
I love that.
Yeah, it's very positive. Really.
Correct, I agree.
And happiness.
Yeah, exactly.
46 years on, you must be doing something right. You're clearly hitting a spot with your customer.
We had someone in this morning, a wholesale customer, and they said, I don't want these nano flowers anymore. I want your brand in there, because everyone knows your brand, and we don't have that in store.
So for mine, it's what quality or skill shows up in both your business and personal life that you believe is essential for success. Look, I think having 2 kids now and organisational skills has just put me in good stead with online and being able to make sure that I'm organised, number one, and I think that's where I can correlate both personal life with work. yeah, and just it's key to making sure that you stay ahead with your work organization for digital, because you can't fall behind because it's just so fast paced, especially with AI now. You want to separate from your competitors, number one, but just be unique in that space too, because homewares is such a big industry, not just in Australia but globally, and you know, you want to be ahead in terms of like visibility, so you've got to take that action plan, and that's what I've brought into the KAS workspace. And everyone loves how we always sit together and we're always organised, and making sure that you've got a calendar ready already 2-3 months ahead, because it just makes the workforce better. And that's what I found as well, just even at home, like my wife's sometimes like, I've never seen you like this, what's going on? Hang on, is someone stolen my husband? Yeah, but even you probably seen it sometimes, but yeah, it's definitely a word of advice, and something, when I saw this card, it was a good one.
Productivity hacks, it's all about that.
That's right.
You know, write a list, use your calendar, optimize your calendar.
Yeah.
But it's good to take some of that skill set into your personal as well as into your business.
And it helps with AI now being able to record your meetings too,
true.
which is kind of creepy, but it's so
good
true.
though.
Like I see the recap and I'm like, oh my God, I don't need to do a debrief
Send
anymore.
it out. Yeah.
We were in San Francisco and we interviewed the founder of Fireflies AI.
Oh,
and that was a
so
super
good.
interesting
Oh my God,
conversation.
it's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah.
tool
Isn't
is
it?
so good.
Yeah, I've actually had a test run on it.
There's so
Yeah.
many,
You just Google like what's, you know, what
Yep.
can record my meetings now. So.
Exactly. Yeah, we have no excuses. We're running out of
Exactly.
excuses to be more efficient.
There is. Well, there was a famous Elon Musk quote recently in his last, meeting and press conference, whatever it was, and he's like, soon, he reckons in 15 years we won't even need to have jobs. It's all going to be done for us, which is really, I was thinking, yeah, I know, it's scary, but you know, that's how far AI can go, and hopefully all good things ahead for KAS, and we're hoping 2026 will be even bigger and better.
I
Yeah,
have
no
no doubt.
Thank you guys so
Oh,
much
you're
for
very
joining us.
welcome.
It's
Yes.
been a lovely
Awesome.
conversation,
Fun.
and we can't wait to see the further evolution of KAS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Thank you.
Thanks, team.
Thanks.